So there are more than 85,000 chemicals that are used in the United States right now. Thousands more hit the market each year. And there are over 10,500 chemicals that are used just in the personal care products industry. The vast majority have never been assessed for safety by the cosmetic industry, the government, or any publicly accountable body. And those chemicals that have been assessed for safety are usually for just one health endpoint, like cancer, so not endocrine disruption or not mutagenicity, or they're for acute reaction, so does this chemical have the ability to irritate skin or eyes? And most people think we live in a highly regulated country and that products must be safe if they're on store shelves. But the reason that these chemicals are largely understudied and untested is because they don't have to be. So there's one law on the books from 1976 called the Toxic Substances Control Act, and that law is supposed to empower the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, to regulate chemicals kind of across the board, across industries. But that law is relatively toothless, and under that law, only about 5 chemicals have been regulated by the EPA since 1976. So that's kind of chemicals across the board in the EPA. And then there's the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, and they would be in charge of regulating cosmetics. They are in charge of regulating cosmetics. But the FDA's authority over cosmetics is very different from their authority over food and drugs and medical devices. And this bill, as we said in our awesome video that we showed you this morning, and as Greg often talks about, this law is from 1938. So that was a really long time ago, and these are some pictures of what was going on around that time. I mean, a few things have changed since then, right? A little thing called the Industrial Revolution has happened, a lot of things have changed. But I wouldn't have a problem with the bill being, or the law being old if it was good. The problem is that it isn't good, and under this law, the FDA cannot require that ingredients used in cosmetics or finished products be assessed for safety. There's major loopholes on labeling, so companies can basically put whatever they want in fragrance. A lot of people think that fragrance is a couple of essential oils or a couple of chemicals. It can be a couple, it can be a dozen, it can be hundreds of unlisted chemicals, some of which may be perfectly safe, many of which may be totally toxic. Under this law, it's legal to use a carcinogen in baby shampoo. Under this law, the FDA cannot do a recall if they find a problem with a product. Contaminants can be hiding off-label, preservatives can be hiding off-labal, and salon products don't need ingredients listed at all, which is another major environmental justice issue and a worker right-to-know issue. People working in salons all day long don't have the luxury of knowing what they're using all day and exposing themselves to. So the law is extremely flawed and it needs to be changed, and I know Lindsay will speak a little bit about that tomorrow, and I'm incredibly proud of the work that you do around that.